Now, Arkansas's most watched sports show, Hooten's Arkansas Football.
Hello and welcome to Hooten's Arkansas Football tonight from the Marketplace Grill. Football fans all across our state love the fabulous food at Marketplace Grill. We love it here. We'll tell you about some of the dishes you can find at Marketplace Grill with locations in Springdale, Fort Smith, Conway, and Fayetteville at the Northwest Arkansas Mall. We'll be talking about Marketplace coming up a little bit later. And in the next 30 minutes, we'll show you highlights from all across our state, the 7th week of the high school season. And we will begin in Cherry Valley, home of the Cross County Thunderbirds. And our Class 2A highlights are brought to you tonight by My Bank, First Security Bank Corp. Cross County Thunderbirds have struggled after a breakout season in 2003. They were behind the Earl Bulldogs 6-0 early Friday night, but the T-Birds would finally get revved up as the big man putting it into drive. Junior running back Kendall Boykin, he gets loose, 22-yard gain. Cross County's inside the 5. Couple of plays later, senior Patrick Jones finally gets a hold of the handoff, and he's going to score from 6 yards out. Cross County's on the board. Tied at 6, but here comes the Earl Bulldogs. Quarterback Cordell Dyson, long and deep to Johnny Williams. 47 yards down to the Cross County 23. Then Dyson finds James Jarrett. He fights his way inside the 5-yard line. That would set up a short Morial Toombs touchdown run for Earl. Coach Steve Williams and the Cross County T-Birds need an answer.
Block line, come on. Okay, 30 draw. Let them go outside if they want to. Get them up the middle, guys. Get them up.
Williams called for the draw, and he got it. Aaron Boyles up the middle. This ball game was back and forth all night, a dandy, but Earl would win the shootout to stay in playoff contention. Final score from Cherry Valley, Earl 40, the sputtering Cross County T-Birds 34.
Tonight we win, we're in first place in the toughest football conference in AA football in Arkansas. Don't you think otherwise. Let me tell you something. Everybody else may say we're the Cinderella. We're the one that's going to have to upset somebody. Let me tell you something. They lose, they go home second place. They go home, they're tied for first place with the team that's done beat them. You understand? We are the team to beat tonight.
That's Desert coach Tim Harper, whose Eagles were looking to upset number 3 Palestine Wheatley Friday night. Palestine gets things going on its second possession. Antonio Leak, he carried 19 times Friday night for 171 yards, a couple of touchdowns. After his run, DJ Banks would cap the 55-yard scoring drive for Palestine. He will dive into the end zone. Palestine Wheatley led 6-0. A little bit later, the Patriots, taking just 2 plays to score their second touchdown. Senior quarterback Fred Leak throws 78 yards to Brad Barton, and the Patriots are rolling. Fred Leak, the quarterback, completed 7 of 10 passes on the night, 155 yards, but Desert could pass it too. They showed it. Senior Adam Dahl would pass to his sophomore brother Jason Dahl for this touchdown. They hooked up for a pair of scores on Friday night, including the 30-yarder here in the second quarter. Palestine led Desert by only 6 points at halftime, but poured it on down the stretch. Final score, Palestine Wheatley 44, Desert 13. On homecoming night at Carlisle, the Bison jumped to a 6-0 lead early on the Marshall Bobcats, but Marshall was showing some muscle early. Watch Zach Massey right up the middle. He almost breaks it, but Carlisle has a long history of having a stingy defense. Watch the Bison D with a couple of big hits. Bam! Linebacker T.J. Powell, he brought all 210 pounds to that hit. He's proud of it. Marshall thinks, hey, maybe we should try the other direction. Bam! Another big hit. This time, it's Carlisle's senior linebacker, Nick Hanks. The Bison fired up and turning things over to their little man on offense now, John Singleton, number 8. He's only 5'8". That might be stretching it, and he's going to stretch Marshall's defense. Carlisle was up 14-0. Marshall would come back to cut into the lead with this touchdown run by Massey, pushing into the end zone. That made it 14-6, but the night belonged to the Bison. Final score, Carlisle 41, Marshall 12. And we wrap up our AA coverage with Hector at undefeated Hazen. Hazen was up 8-6 going into the fourth quarter. Great ball game. But here comes Hector. All-conference quarterback Corey Small. He runs 11 yards before he's brought down by Clifton Rowan. Nice tackle. Small makes Hector's DT go, though. He's a junior, and he rushed for more than 400 yards this season. 3 plays later, Hector gives it to their big fullback, Chris Miranda. He waltzes in for the touchdown. That put Hector up 12-8. Hazen saw its lead slip away away. It had 2 possessions in the final 7 minutes, though, but both of them ended with interceptions on deep throws from Nathan Campbell. The last one by free safety Justin Dowdle. His interception seals the win. Final score, Hector 12, Hazen 8.
Just dropped back and seen that ball coming, looked behind me, make sure nobody's behind me. Caught that ball, felt that adrenaline running. Oh, I just ran as far as I could. Big win.
Hooten's Arkansas football Class 2A rankings. Top-ranked Rison stayed perfect, hammering Hermitage 55-6 Friday night. Rison's senior quarterback, Aaron Terry, has accounted for more than 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns this year. Charleston had the week off. Number 3 Palestine looked like a team that had just beaten Barton for the first time ever Friday night. The Patriots flat early but blew out Des Arc in the fourth quarter. The second 5 starts with Mountainburg. Dragons shut out Cedarville 34-0. Mountainburg plays host to Lavaca and Charleston the next 2 weeks with the 1AA championship on the line. Derricks climbs to number 7. The Outlaws are on top of the 7AA West and should stay there. Hughes starts the second 10 after handing Barton its second conference loss in a row. Spring Hill sticks at 13, followed by Bearden and Arkansas Baptist. Baptist is 6-1 and sits atop the 4AA standings. The Eagles will play host to a beat-up Hazen team next week. Mount Ida, Jesseville, Foreman, the Perryville Mustangs, and Hector all won Friday night. Hazen drops a dozen spots to number 21. Ola moves up to 22 after a 9-point win over Yale County rival Danville. Gillette, Gurdon, and Des Arc round out the top 25.
Now, the ConocoPhillips Spirit Student of the Week.
Deep in southwest Arkansas, in the little town of Derricks, you can really develop a pretty hectic schedule.
I'm a cheerleader and I play basketball and I run track. We have cheerleading practice on Tuesday and Thursday after school, and I have basketball practice on Monday and Wednesday, and then Friday I have football games.
Sophomore Darren Kirkpatrick does all those things and more while maintaining a 3.79 grade point average. That makes her an easy choice for the Spirit Student of the Week.
I feel the way to be a good cheerleader is have a lot of school pride, show your spirit, and cheer for your team.
Nominations for the ConocoPhillips Spirit Student of the Week are welcomed and can be made by logging on to Hootens.com or by stopping in ConocoPhillips stations of Arkansas.
And congratulations again to Darren Kirkpatrick from Derricks, our ConocoPhillips Spirit Student of the Week. The Outlaws last night with a big win over Spring Hill. Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football Class 3A highlights, including the number 1 team in all of AAA, CAC. Class 3A highlights are next.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by Sonic.
The number 1 team in Class 3A is CAC, and the Mustangs were back at home facing winless DeWitt on Friday. You knew it was coming. CAC applied the mercy rule. It was 35-0, and even against CAC's reserves, DeWitt couldn't get anything going. We get CAC's Andrew Jones, number 17, all over the field, making the tackle for a 5-yard loss, and CAC hasn't even been pushed in 6 AAA plays so far. Final score, Mustangs 35, DeWitt 0. On homecoming night in Lone Oak, the Jackrabbits led conference newcomer Bauxite by 6 points at halftime, but Bauxite would capitalize on a turnover inside the 10 to start the second half. Billy Osborne bounces into the end zone, and then he'll kick the crucial extra point. That put Bauxite up 21-20 early in the third quarter. Lone Oak and defensive coordinator Hal Stillman would regroup as the Jackrabbit offense hits the field. Check out the hard running by Fletcher Bennett. He fights for every yard. That would set up a controversial touchdown. Watch this. Senior quarterback Jeremy Brown, he's coming right at the cameraman. Look out. Jeremy dives for the end zone. The officials say he got in. Bauxite players say his knee hit the ground. We slowed it down, and even frame by video frame, you couldn't really tell. Bauxite may have gotten a bad call, but it was only third down, and Lone Oak goes on to win it. Final score, Jackrabbits 34, Bauxite 28. And we wrap up our AAA coverage in Northwest Arkansas. The Elkins Elks at Farmington. And Farmington senior Jesse Shelley doing his part. It's 6-0 Farmington. Then Elkins would throw the pick. Alex Ham comes down with the Oski for Farmington. The Cardinals back in business and going back to Jesse Shelley. That put Farmington up 12-0. Elkins would try to rally. Ryan Finkus to Zachary White, but Farmington would hold on to win. Final score, Cardinals 18, Elkins 7. And here's Hooten's Arkansas football updated Class 3A rankings brought to you by the Arkansas Army National Guard. CAC stays on top, and then it's Booneville. The Bearcats are 7-0 and untested in the 4 AAA conference. Pulaski Academy's number 3 and Nashville's 4. The Scrappers are also undefeated. They play host to unbeaten Fountain Lake in 2 weeks. Ashdown starts the second 5, then it's Dollarway and Warren. The Lumberjacks rush for 300 yards in the third quarter on Friday night against Fordyce. Rivercrest drops to number 9, and Harrisburg is 10. Then it's the Hillbillies and the Bulldogs. Hoxie at number 13. The Mustangs' senior quarterback Brett Schabel is one of the best in the state. They will travel to Pocahontas for the 2 AAA title next week. Osceola beat Rivercrest by 13 points Friday night. They should be headed back to the playoffs after a 2-year absence at Osceola. Fountain Lake is number 16. The Cobras are undefeated. They'll play host to Ashdown next week, and the winner is guaranteed a home playoff spot. Lone Oak is 17, and Green Forest checks in at 18. The Tigers should win that 1 AAA up in Northwest Arkansas after beating Shiloh Christian by 2 touchdowns. Prairie Grove is number 21. Then it's Fordyce. The Redbugs have lost consecutive games, but still should make the playoffs in the 8 AAA. And it's Dover at number 23, followed by the Redskins and the...
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by Big Red Fina.
And we begin our Class 4A highlights at unbeaten Pulaski Robinson. The Senators playing host to Hope. Robinson's opening drive, Clayton Ford, short touchdown run, and Robinson was up. Then it's Corey Taylor getting some blocks and the first down. Taylor rewarded a few plays later. He'll score the second Robinson touchdown tonight. It's 14-0 in the second quarter. Hope comes back though. Jermaine Rudd, 50-yard gain for the Bobcats. That would set up Ephraim Maxwell's short touchdown that pulled Hope to within 14-7, but Robinson's defense was stiff the rest of the night. The Senators have won 19 of their past 20 games. Final score, Robinson 20, Hope 7. Staying in the 4A Southwest, Malvern and Fair both fighting for playoff berths. Fair goes right to work. Brandon Moore lofting it to Charles Hayes. Then Moore running the option. It's 8-0. Brennan Metcalf putting it into the end zone. A little bit later, with time running out in the first half, Moore with the pass to Justin Cross near the goal line. Then the War Eagles had the ensuing touchdown run called back and would run out of time in the half, but it wouldn't matter. J.A. Fair has won 4 in a row. Final score, War Eagles 34, Malvern 0. From Little Rock to the Oklahoma State border, up at Siloam Springs, the Panthers undefeated playing host to Bologna. Siloam Springs had been inside the 5 twice and couldn't score, but the 52-yard touchdown pass chased Pittman to Brad Thompson, and Siloam looking like the men of steel. Then, just before halftime, Jordan Barnett kicks in the field goal. Siloam led this 10-0, and the Panthers remain undefeated, scoring on the final play of the game. Final score, Siloam Springs 23, Bologna 22. The best game in Class 4A Friday night was at Wynn. Hooten's Arkansas football cameras, the only ones on hand. The Beast of the East getting it on. Defending state champion Batesville, putting its 18-game winning streak on the line against the Yellow Jackets. Number 3 Batesville at number 6 Wynn. Wynn's defense is tough this year. Senior lineman Cord Gray and Yancey Young, the rest of the line, they looked more like the number 1 team Friday night. At front 4, the Yellow Jackets dominated. The defense held Pioneer standout running back Tim Childress to just 67 yards, and the rest of the Batesville offense would total just 100 yards. Wynn's offense was methodical. That sophomore Terrence Garrett capping a 15-play, 88-yard scoring drive to put Wynn up 14-7 in the second quarter, and Wynn's offense was explosive. And in the fourth quarter, senior Courtney Williams would put it away. 23 yards. He totaled 183 yards on the night. Wynn was up 28-7. Batesville attempted to rally. Quarterback Bo Reynolds going high and deep into the sky. Flanker Even Airy comes down with it. That would set up a short Reynolds touchdown score, but it was too little too late for Batesville. The Pioneers' winning streak is over, and Wynn is back on top of the 4A East. Final score, Yellow Jackets 35, Batesville 21.
All good things have to come to end sometimes, but it's just, it's just life. Feel real good. We lost last year. We beat them the year before, but we lost last year, and we just want to take our title back.
And here is Hooten's Arkansas football Class 4A rankings updated and brought to you by the Arkansas Army National Guard. Alma is still number 1, but the Airedales face Siloam Springs, Bologna, and Greenwood the next 3 weeks. Robinson stays at number 2 and Greenwood is up to number 3. Then it's the Wynn Yellow Jackets. Wynn should have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Siloam Springs is up to number 5. The Panthers are 7-0. After a 1-point win against Bologna, Siloam scores on the final play of the game to knock off the Eagles. Oak Grove is number 6. The Hornets are 6-1 and will likely win the Southeast Conference. Then it's Batesville, Bologna, West Helena, and Fair. The War Eagles move into the top 10 after 4 straight conference wins. The second 10 begins with 4 teams from the Southeast: Monticello, Stuttgart, Crosset, and Whitehall. BB moves up to number 15. The Badgers have just 2 wins, but will likely make the playoffs for the 10th time in the past 11 years. Paragoul's number 16. Then it's the Golden Goblins, the Chickasaws, the Devil Dogs, and Hope. The Bobcats will play host to Little Rock Fair next week, and the winner will likely get a home playoff game. Marion's number 21. There's Magnolia. The Panthers are 3-1 in the Southwest and likely headed for postseason play. Mills is 23, and Lakeside and Malvern round out the top 25.
Now, the United States Marines Scholar Athlete of the Week.
BB's Jacob McElwain makes big plays for the Badgers. Academically, he's all over it as he's in the running for Class Victorian.
My parents really driven me and encouraged me to stay on top of things at school so I could keep my options available after high school.
Top-notch kid, and when people see him having a good time out here playing and doing it right, it can be contagious.
Congratulations to Badgers Jacob McElwain, the Marine Scholar Athlete of the Week.
And congratulations to Jake. The BB Badgers back at home next week when they'll take on the Greene County Tech Eagles. Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football tonight from the Marketplace Grill. We have Class 5A highlights next.